What is up, people? Hawg Slop podcast looking a little different tonight. Looking a little different. Your boy Bigger T is here as always, but I'm missing Big C. He's not here tonight. Couldn't be here, so we got the next best thing. We got Bart Reid in here, man. Bart, man, it's good to have you on here. Our
Good. Thanks
basketball
for having me.
guru.
I'll try to fill in as best I can. No,
Well,
no,
it's you got
no
some
high
big shoes to
expectations.
fill, man. But
That's right.
but you can handle it. You can handle it. I know
Yes, sir.
you're pure sweat Bart, baby. You can handle
I'm
this
ready to
stuff.
go.
Man, we're
Ready to
not,
go.
you're normally we're gonna talk basketball because we got you here. We gotta talk some basketball. We got Calvin the State, we got Joe Johnson on the hill now. We got all kinds of stuff. We got
Yep.
Hogs making appearances in Hot Springs and down in
Yep.
Pine Bluff, and you got to be there in Pine Bluff. And but you know what? You're a talented dude, Bart, and you were also up in Fayetteville
Yep.
at the LSU game. So we're gonna talk some
Yep.
football too. We're gonna recap the
Talk some
LSU
football.
game. Look
Yeah,
forward to Mississippi
absolutely.
State, and man, it's gonna be good. Are you ready?
I'm ready. It's the best sports time of the year, honestly.
Man, it is, isn't it? I mean, basketball's what? How many days we got till basketball starts?
I mean, it's right around, it's basically here. I
It's
mean,
almost here,
right around
baby.
the corner.
Almost here. We got the
Football season's
slobbering.
cranking. Yep.
We got the slobbering hog, and we got everything. We're ready.
That's right.
So, folks, look, go ahead right now. Stop what you're doing. Like, share, comment. Okay, subscribe to the channel. All that good stuff. You're in the Slop House, Hog Slop podcast. We're about to do this thing. We're big sealess, but we're gonna trudge on anyway. So, ready? Sean Michelle, kick it off.
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Ever seen a blind man see? I promise you a change his thing. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you a change his thing.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Hog Slop podcast. Once again, I'm your boy Bigger T, joined by my man Bart Reid from Pure Sweat Basketball. He trains basketball players from all over the state. Some you know, some you don't know, some you're gonna know, and a couple
That's
of them are
right.
in his house. How you
That's
doing,
right.
Bart? Man, it's good to have you.
I'm good, Travis. Thanks for having me, buddy. Glad I could join you. Do my best to fill in, talk a little basketball, a little football.
That's
I'm
right,
ready.
baby. We're ready. Man, it was look, other than the results on the hill, it was a good sports weekend, man. There was a lot of good games. I mean, the Arkansas LSU game was a big game, but there were bigger games in the SEC. You had Texas, Georgia. You
Yeah.
had um, who else was it? Um,
Bama,
Alabama, uh, South
Tennessee,
South Carolina destroying Oklahoma. Welcome to the SEC, Sooners.
and welcome to the new world of NIL
That's right.
in college athletics, baby.
Now, isn't it amazing what's happening at Vanderbilt? Those Commodores, that little quarterback they got, just man, he's a Johnny Manziel wannabe. He's unabashedly a Johnny Manziel fan,
Yep.
and he's doing big things, man. They're ranked now.
We've had it basketball forever. College basketball's been college basketball, the definition of parity.
Yeah.
It's great to get a little bit of that in football
Hmm. You're right.
instead of seeing Alabama roll through everybody. You know,
That's right. And
might be looking for a new coach pretty soon.
now you got Army Navy. Both. I mean, that matchup could decide one of those end up. I mean, it has an outside chance of making it to the playoff.
Yep.
If they can get past
Incredible.
Notre Dame.
It's incredible.
So it's good, man. It's good things. Of course, now Army Navy, they're not so much in the transfer portal and NIL stuff. I mean,
Right.
their guys are on that GI Bill. But
They're one of the few, buddy, that's
that,
not on the
that
NIL and
that's
transfer
right.
portal train. I can tell you that.
That's right. But hey, man, they got quarterbacks that are passing the ball now and stuff like that, man. It's neat to see.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk about one of those games. For our Holy Shnikes moment, we got to talk about Georgia, Texas. Okay. First of all, look, Texas gets beat finally, and that's it's a welcome to the SEC moment, okay? Because not just that Georgia, I mean, Georgia's good. I mean, Georgia may be the best team in the country. By the end of the year, either one of those could be holding the national championship trophy.
Sure.
But I think what Texas found out is that this season in the SEC wears on you
Night in and night out.
every week. Yep.
Yep.
Every week you're playing against teams that are stacked with stud players.
Yep.
But there was a play, Bart, in the second half of that game that has gotten a lot of talk. Okay. And what happened was Georgia receivers going out for a pass, and the ball gets thrown to him, and he kind of tangles up with the D back. D back catches it and returns it for down, gets tackled a little ways down. Big turnover. Texas is down. Could be huge, huge momentum shift type of play for Texas, or at least they're hoping it to be. There's a flag on the play. Pass interference on the defense. Well, then they start showing the replay, and all the commentators, you can go look the play up on YouTube. It's all the commentators are like, if anything, that was pass interference on the offensive guy. He pushed off. It was the defensive guy didn't do anything. I mean, he just, it was a bad call. Well, the Texas fans, when they saw it, didn't like it. So they start throwing stuff on the field. Bottles, I don't know, corn dog sticks. I don't know what they threw.
Right.
They start throwing stuff on the field, and it causes the game to be delayed. The officials during that time are talking to each other. Sark's having to go over to the student section and calm them down. Everything's going crazy. After they calm everything down, the officials come out and say that was no pass interference. Now it's a play. They didn't get that from replay because that is a play that cannot be sent to instant replay. Okay. Pass interference in college is not able to. Now, Kirby got hot.
Yeah.
And in the post-game press conference, and a lot of commentators are saying, hey, that sets a bad precedent that fans, if they don't like a call, they can just throw stuff on the field and maybe the refs will change it. What do you think about that?
Listen, for your insight and giving me a little, I don't think it ever sets a bad precedent to make a call, to make the call correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct call was no pass interference. So they huddled, they got together, which is what they should be doing in that particular situation. Took a lot of gumption to reverse that call, certainly, but is the replay no pass interference, as long as they're making the call right, it doesn't matter. They're making the call because they got together and saw something, meeting of the minds. They saw something different, not because people were throwing stuff on the field.
That's exactly right. And I'm so thankful that one of them spoke up and said, look, we got to get this call right. Here's the right call. That guy pushed off. Whoever threw the flag, and now I think there's something that came out, maybe that the official said that he meant to say it was an offensive pass interference, but they ended up just saying there was no call or something. But that's the thing with the officials. They're part-time, so they don't do press conferences. They don't do interviews.
Right.
So, for good reasons, I guess, but I'm
the toughest job in America.
Oh, yeah.
In the heat of the moment, being an umpire, being a referee is one of the toughest jobs in America. The split second you got to make in high pressure situations, basically decisions that could affect the outcome of a game. It's not an easy spot to be in for sure. So you got to commend them for trying to get it
That's
right.
right. That's one of the maddest I've ever been in a game. I used to play softball in the league in Conway, and I was ref on nights I didn't play, umpired,
Mhm.
and there was a guy that was calling at first base, and one of our guys had hit the ball to shortstop. Should have been a bang bang play, right? He goes to throw it, and instead of the first baseman catching it, it goes off the top of his glove and goes into our dugout with their like softball with their name on it. Okay. The
Yep.
game ball. The first base umpire, I knew the guy, but he was trying to do like a real energetic,
Yeah.
like, and so he put his head down. I saw him. I was coaching first base. He put his head down before the ball even got there and
Never
was
saw it.
already doing the guy out. And he never saw the ball go off the guy's glove. And Bart, I pleaded with him. I said, send it to the home base ump because
Yeah.
that the thing is, those officials in the field, the home base ump is not supposed to just override them unless they ask them their opinion.
Asphalt. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I was so mad because that guy and his arrogance, he was like, and he told me, he's like, well, he was trying to get the ball out. No, it never went in his glove,
Yeah.
Anyway, but to me, I respect those officials, like I said, for at least getting it right. Now they're taking a beating in the media. The media saying,
Yeah.
that like Kirby said, and that does. I mean, that some people would say it's worth getting the call wrong because Georgia ended up winning anyway. It's worth getting the call wrong if you keep them from throwing the stuff on the field. I don't know.
Right.
I don't think so. I think it's you get the call
No.
right. You do what you do in the time, get it right.
Sure. Yep.
So those Bayou Bengals came up to Fayetteville. Homecoming, right? It's homecoming.
Yep.
We
Homecoming.
had Dan Hampton and John Daly leading the team out on the hog walk.
Yeah.
Man.
So Travis, I got to start off by saying this before you get in the X's and O's and the fine details. I'm used to being a Little Rock guy, and so when my uncle coached Lewis Campbell for the university, the LSU game was always in Little Rock, and it was just such a different atmosphere. And I had a chance. I was in the beautiful Stevens box. I was with my beautiful wife. It was fantastic, but it's almost like the crowd is just so subdued. And so coming from Baton Rouge, it's not near loud enough to throw them off their game. So it almost just looked like, I don't know, they're rolling from the very start, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you're right. That, man, I miss that, because I used to go every time they were in Little Rock. I mean, from the time I was in my 20s, on for a long time, I went every time they were in Little Rock to that LSU game on Friday after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And I was at both the Miracle and Markham's. I was, at the, at, the rain game where a couple years before the first Miracle on Markham, where our second string fullback became our running back for that game and ran for 200 something yards.
Yep.
I mean, it's just, and you're right. I mean, there's just something special about those LSU and Little Rock games, but yeah, man. Now I did have my buddy Matt. He took his son to his first game, and he was excited. Had third row seats, and
nice.
They had some 20-something-year-olds that were drunk off their keister. They made their night miserable. They were,
I guarantee you,
using foul language and spilling beer on his wife and kid and stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah, it was
and
bad.
don't you? I mean, really, because what can you do in that particular situation? But as a sports fan, that's always my worst fear is that, and that's foul language or not, anytime you're going to a sporting event that can be really good, you're always worried about, is somebody going to be belligerent in front of you that just
Yeah.
messes it all up.
Especially when you're taking your
Kids.
kids to the first game, and it took him and his best friend to their first game. And yeah, it was tough. He left early, I think, because of it.
Yeah.
He's not the
Well,
type to normally leave early, but
that's why TV is so nice at times, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, those boxes are
Okay.
nice too. Now you
Oh
got it
yeah.
good
No,
up
you can
there.
get used to that. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
get used to that.
that's the
So
good life there, Bart. You're living the
that's
good
right.
life.
That's right.
But
Yep.
yeah, man, the team came out and they were, they did. Look, Arkansas did some good things. I mean, yeah, it wasn't how we wanted. It was a little more lopsided than we wanted it to be in the long run. I mean, we wanted that game to be, we wanted a close one like we've had in other games. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
But, I mean, at first I was thinking, look, I've been critical of Taylon Green on here,
Hmm.
because he tends to miss guys. He
He
misses.
hangs on to the ball, right?
He
I
hangs
mean,
on to the ball too long. Guys will be open and he throws it to them late.
yep.
Especially, he's not finding Luke Hawes like he should. He's not finding Tesla like he should. Those guys are open on seam routes and slant
Yep.
routes where he's just not. I don't understand it, and it and
Yep.
he, and it makes the look. Our lines had our problems, okay, and we had our problems in this game, but the problems he makes them a little worse by waiting so
Yeah.
long. Okay. And that hurts. However, he was 21 of 31 for 240 yards. So at least when he did throw it, he he made some
Yeah.
completions. Okay.
But Trav, it's just like in that game where momentum is such a huge thing. As good as they are, can you really miss a field goal
Yep.
to start off?
That's right.
Fumble the football. I, those type of things on the road are unacceptable. At home, against they just can't happen.
Yeah.
With a team who, let's say this, whether you're a Green fan or not, the polar opposite was on the field for LSU. Nussmeier gets rid of the ball as quick as any guy I've seen in college
Yep.
football this year. I mean, it's gone. He's very decisive. Plays develop really early, and he takes a lot of that bad cataclysmic play
Yeah.
like you saw the interview out of play a lot
Yeah.
of times. So
And the thing was, Bart, they picked us apart with the short
yes,
passes. And we wasn't expecting them to be able to run on us, but they were able to run. Now let's talk about the offense first, though. We'll come around to the defense because I have some critiques there. I thought Bobby called a pretty good game. Uh Jaquindon Jackson was injured, and that hurt us. Now the fumble with Dominion, he took a lot of heat on social media and on some message
mhm.
boards because of that fumble. But I'm telling you, Bart, that's a fumble. A lot of running backs would fumble on that
Oh,
hit.
no, no doubt,
That guy
no
hit
doubt.
him where it's hard to hold on to that ball. You know,
Yep,
that's a tough one to hold on to. And I still
absolutely.
think Dominion helps us. In fact, we need him to help us because Jaquindon Jackson is out against Mississippi State. So Braylon Russell will be the starter, according to Sam Pittman, and then we got Dominion and Rodney Hills back. So um, I thought Armstrong had a great game. Now, here's the big thing. Okay, here was the big surprise. But I got to tell you, Bart, your boy here, and my boy Big C last week on our podcast, we talked about that we wouldn't be surprised to see a shakeup on the offensive line.
Mhm.
And what I said I thought would happen was Harris would go out to right tackle, which happened. And I thought
Mhm.
Blackstock would be moved to guard or the bench. I didn't know either because I didn't know how much Kudus would play. I didn't know if Kudus would go in at left guard If he went to left, if Kudus went to left guard, I thought that Blackstock may go to right guard because Braun has struggled a lot. Blackstock does a good job. If he locks onto a guy, he's going to whip him. He's a physical specimen, and he does have some dog in him. Okay, so
Yep.
if he locks onto his guy and it doesn't take footwork for him to get to him,
Yep.
he's gonna usually beat his guy. And so
Yep.
that's why they do run to the right side a lot, because if he's got a guy where he can do some things on him. The problem is he takes bad steps on his pass sets a lot of times, or sometimes when he's having to reach out for guys, he loses his feet. His footwork's just not there.
Right.
Like Carmona has better footwork. Harris, I thought Harris did pretty good, especially for switching to that position in the middle of the season. Um, some would argue, now is this the time you want to do that? Well, if you're going to make that switch, why
You got
not
to
when you
make
have
it.
a bye week?
Yep. Yep.
So
Gives them extra time to prepare. Yep.
you got 2 weeks, and you got look, yeah, yes, you got LSU coming in, but you also have a pretty heavy schedule left.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we found out in the press conference Monday from Pittman that he's going to try to redshirt Kudus. It looks like. So he's gonna let Kudus's back heal. He's gonna let him practice some, but he's gonna let him just heal up so that maybe they get another year out of him. I'm sure. I mean that a lot of that depends on that's got to be something Kudus wants, or they wouldn't be doing it.
Sure. Sure. So do you think, because I expected Braylon Russell to be going into the game to be a much bigger factor than what he was.
Mm.
So do you think that's scouting report on LSU, or you think that's offensive line? Both.
I think it's a little. I think their defensive line was a little tougher. A guy like Braylon Russell, the thing with him, he's not as quick to the hole as
Yeah.
Jackson and even Dominion are. He's pretty quick though. He's pretty quick to the hole. I don't want to slight the guy,
Yeah.
but they were doing their defense was doing a good job confusing us. I mean, you
Yeah.
saw that stack they did.
Yes.
You do that against an offensive line that is solid, that screws with their head a little bit. That's
Yeah.
some John Thompson. I used to love John
Yeah.
Thompson when he was there. He would do this deal where he would just have the whole defensive line and the front seven just walking around.
Yeah.
And then at the snap, they would
Nonstop.
end up in
Yeah.
their gap.
Yeah.
They'd walk around.
Yeah.
They just, as long as they end up in their gap, y'all can do whatever you want to do. Just end up in your gap when the ball snap.
Yep.
And that kind of made me think about what LSU was doing there, which I think Keppel is one of the defensive line coaches. And so I think he worked with Thompson, before. So he probably knows a little bit about that kind of stuff. So probably helped him with that. But
Well, it
yeah,
looked like they came off a bye week and we had a tough game
yeah,
versus the opposite, because they were extremely well prepared with a high energy level, and
yeah,
they were hitting, blocking, and tackling. That's for
yeah.
sure.
They did play a good game against us. Their defensive backs did a good job on our receivers, but I gotta say our receivers, they got some separation here and there. Armstrong is still a stud, man. I love that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That guy is probably becoming one of my favorite players on this team. Just the
Yep.
way he stepped up as a leader, the way he stepped up and just in the games. Um, I think they got to get the ball to Luke Haas and the tight ends more. It'll be interesting against Mississippi State to see what they do with the running game. Russell's going to get the ball a lot, and
Yeah.
I think Dominion will get it a lot too. But Dominion, look, people are being critical of Dominion. I think Dominion may be the most well-rounded running back we got. I mean, he
Yeah.
can catch passes. I mean, he's not the best running back we got. Jackson's the best, but as far as just can do anything you ask him to do, he's kind of that. He's kind of that Kevin Falk that played for
Yeah.
the Patriots, old LSU running back that played
Absolutely.
for the
Yep.
Patriots. Kind of, you can count on him to do
Do it all.
whatever you need
Yep.
him to do. Now,
Yep.
defensively, our defense struggled, our defensive backs especially. I didn't understand, against Tennessee, we ran that 3-3-6 defense. And we really didn't see that much against LSU. And the way they were running things, it would have been right to run that some, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, we did what we did in the first half against Tennessee, which was go into the 3-3-6 out of the four-man front. So we were dropping some people back some. But and still kind of doing that umbrella coverage. But one of the things, what we were doing is our defensive backs were playing off the receivers because their receivers are good.
They're good
athletes.
They're athletes, NFL type athletes.
Yeah. I mean, they just moved that one tight end to receiver. He's 6'7", 250. He's playing in the slot.
Yeah.
What do you do against that? I mean, what do you do? I mean, our
not a lot you can do. Yeah.
Our D-backs out there, 5'10", 200 pounds trying to guard that. I mean, what do you do there? But
yeah. What you can't let them do is let their tailback get 7 to 8 yards per carry.
Yeah.
On really what looked up in the box to me almost effortless, almost like just let's pause in the hole and then just like that happen, of course.
Yeah, Durham, their running back, had 101 yards on 21 carries. Caleb Jackson had 30 yards. And look, they were not a good rushing team before this game. They were not. That was one of their weaknesses. That that's what one thing everybody said that we would do well is we would be able to stop the run against them, and we didn't.
Nope.
There, and that part of that goes now. They had two studs at tackle. Okay, they had those two guys have been starting since they were freshmen, and they're good. They're the same age as Landon Jackson. The guy Landon Jackson said one of the guys he was going against was his roommate when he was down there.
Yep.
So those guys are good. So they wasn't. Good. Those are future NFL guys.
And let's don't downplay momentum's a real thing, as we said. When you convert field goal, cumulative time on the field for your defense adds up, and you put them in a couple of bad cuts. They're already struggling.
Yeah.
It's a recipe for disaster against a team that's that talented, top to bottom, because they're a great football team, no doubt about it.
Yeah. And you mentioned it, Nussmeier, he reminded me, and just for reference for Razorback fans, he's probably better than him. Well, I don't want to say he's too much better than him. If he would have had those kind of athletes around him, reminded me of Brandon Allen.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize how good Brandon Allen was. And Brandon Allen, we had the best offensive line in the country when Brandon Allen was here, but it wasn't just because they were a good line. And Sam Pittman got a lot of credit for that. Okay. And I love Sam Pittman. Okay. I'm not dogging him, but Brandon Allen made them look good, just like Nussmeier made his offensive line look good.
Yeah. 100%.
Because he knew when Brandon Allen knew when to get the ball out. And he didn't take sacks. He threw it out of bounds. He threw it, short. And Nussmeier got it out on time, short routes. I mean, I think their longest pass play was 20 yards or something. They had another one for 15. Everything was under that.
Yep. Just picked us apart.
Yeah.
All over the field.
I wish Taylon Green would go and watch his film and learn those. Because Taylon tends to look downfield and not hit those guys when they're in those little 5 to 10 yard range where they're wide open, where
and then
linebackers.
He'll take a sack when you shouldn't, when you're in field goal range, but then don't take a snack when you should. Obviously, like the interception. Well, this is woulda, coulda, shoulda, because it's a tough and all these things are happening super fast. But I think you can tell the game's moving really slow for Nussmeier. It's moving really fast for Taylon Green right now. And
that's right.
It's just that's from a quarterback style. It would be nice to kind of see Bobby P to get back to where he was in your grill, in your face, when
Yeah.
he was the head coach.
Yeah.
I'm not used to seeing the medicated Bobby Petrino that's, sharing feelings and all this stuff. Sometimes you just got to get into guys. And I know he's getting tough coaching and that stuff, but because listen, one thing you see in the box, there's people running open everywhere.
Yeah.
Bobby P's calling a great game.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah,
They're running open all over the field. It's just we got to get the ball to them.
that's right. You're exactly right. Yeah, I think they called, I do question some of the defensive call. I still love Travis Williams. Don't take this as I'm dog, fans, please don't take this I'm dogging Travis Williams. I think the defense we could have called some things better, but I do think they just beat us. Okay.
Yeah, they beat us.
I
They beat
think
us.
I think we were worried. I think and I know why he called it that way. Okay. I know why he called it that way. I think he called it that way because he knew they were faster and better athletes than what we had at defensive back. And so he was worried that we were going to get beat over the top. And so it was going to kind of be bend but don't break. Okay.
Yep.
But Travis Williams does his best when he's aggressive. To me, when he's aggressive, when he's sending the house, when he's dialing up crazy blitzes,
Yep.
when he's got the D backs jamming them on the line and just daring them. I mean, that to
Yep.
me, that's when the best defenses I've seen him call. That's what they do. And so I think he was, may have been just gotten that bend but don't break attitude. Now, this week we got Mississippi State going down to cowbell land, I guess. Mississippi State has a freshman quarterback starting. He's been starting the last 3 games. They have a pretty good offense, which they should. They got an offensive minded head coach. He's been at Central Florida with Gus a little bit and been other places. Um, so they got a pretty good, offense, but their defense is we should be able to score on their defense. They've only won 1 game, I think, this year. Um, this should be a game we could go down and build some confidence. It won't be easy. I mean, they played some folks tough, and no one in the SEC is going to be easy, But
Yep.
I think this is a game we could go down there and build some confidence up. What do you think about it, Bart?
I think so. And knowing Starkville is just such a hard place to play, they need to jump on them early and often. And anytime you can keep a home team can keep the score close, even if they're a big underdog, the
Yeah.
more dangerous it gets the stretch of the game. So I expect Arkansas to come out really foot on the pedal, trying to blow them out 8 points as possible and handle business emphatically.
Yeah, half the battle is going to be shutting up the cowbells early, like you said.
That's
They
right.
need to jump on them early. They need to start fast. If you win the toss, you ask for the ball first. I think,
That's it.
and
Be aggressive.
go out there and you try to shut up those cowbells because if you let those, that's the thing. They're a young team. They got a young quarterback. That quarterback's only getting better.
Yeah.
He's probably not gonna play worse than he did in his last game. Okay. He's probably gonna play better. And he seems to have a cool head on his shoulders because he's the one that Kirby Smart pushed on the sideline a couple games ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he kept a cool head about him during that. That says a lot for a guy. There's a lot of kids
Yeah.
would at least bowed up on him a little bit or
Absolutely.
but he showed some class there and that was good. But
Yeah.
yeah, it should be a good game. I'm gonna say, Bart, that the Hogs win against Mississippi State. I didn't tell you we'd predict, so if you got a prediction, you can go with it. If not, don't worry about it.
Right.
I'm gonna say 34-19 Hogs win.
Okay. All right. So I'll say 32-14 Hogs.
There you go. All right. So we're both thinking pretty close to the same there. That'll be it'd be a good because we need that getting ready for Ole Miss coming in. We need to And boy, I sure hope Jackson gets healthy. I hope he gets healthy, man. Because
now that Ole Miss game is, ooh, it's always an important one, but now it's
yeah,
critical.
yep. Now, Bart, I want to switch gears a little bit because you are the basketball guru, man. You're the pure sweat basketball guy. And you've been able to be around the team a little bit, see them practice
Yep.
and Pine Bluff, and you've been talking to your boy Joe Johnson a little bit, and he's now what position did he take up there now?
So he's player development. So he's
That's
on the
right.
player development side, and he's kind of going back and forth with Atlanta because Joe's still got his kids. And
Mm,
that's one thing that Coach Cal's kind of got going. He's got a bunch of staff, you know, right. You've got Ronnie Brewer and Bruiser Flint, and those guys are obviously mainstays of the staff, and
mm,
everybody's got their role.
mm,
Um, so, but Joe is kind of, and you're seeing this skill development aspect because Brad Calipari is a skill guy. It's what
mm,
he did at Vanderbilt. It's what his, I think, ultimate goal is. So Joe's in. Obviously, Tyler Eulis is part of that staff
mm.
too. That's doing a little bit of skill work. So Coach Cal's got the big guns now.
Now I know you being a skill guy, it's got to tickle you to see the Arkansas staff, the
It
Arkansas
does.
coach putting an emphasis on that.
Oh, did you hear him? Skill is king,
That's
and
right.
that's a skill development cliche that we kind of say sometimes. But if you look at it, I was at Pine Bluff. They had Carter Knox was on one end working about 45 minutes, just him solo on his shot with Brad Calipari, while everybody else was on the other end. So you're seeing basically, I think, what I wanted to see under Coach Musselman,
Mm,
because the whole practice at Pine Bluff, and this is kind of what you're seeing, is geared around their offensive kind of philosophy, which he's going to kind of a 5-out space and play, which I love.
mm,
But they're doing a lot of finishing, a ton of contact. And Travis, we've been terrible at taking contact
yeah.
offensively and defensively in the lane the last 2 years.
Mm,
They take more contact in the first 10 minutes of practice than most teams do in a month.
yeah.
So it,
That's
it
great.
really does. I love seeing the skill, and he's got really skilled players that make it look like a lot of fun on the court too.
And what I love to hear from what you just said, Bart, is because as we've talked to you on here several times, the things that you felt, even though look, you were a fan of Musselman,
Yes,
we talked on
absolutely.
here, we think Musselman's one of the best coaches in the
Yep.
country. Okay.
Yep.
But you did talk about things that you wish he did differently.
Yep.
And those are a couple of things that you wished he did differently. And it sounds
Yep.
like now we may see some things in the long run we wish Cal did differently, right?
Sure.
But right now it's neat to see the things we thought were missing from past teams that are happening already. We hadn't played a game yet. We got the Kansas scrimmage coming up,
Yep.
but so that's really good. What are some of the key things that have jumped out to you that as you've kind of researched this team and heard about them
Speed.
and watched them?
Speed, how fast they play. And that was another thing that I think I've been critical of Arkansas in the past, that we don't put up enough shots. Our
Mm,
shot volume is down, usually compared to our opponents. So we have played with the high rate of speed, and we haven't seen the ball movement at times. And one thing that you're seeing with Coach Cal is they play extremely fast. And he talked a lot about that in the scrimmage, is that you have to get used to going at that rate of speed,
mm,
so you can be effective in games. But double gap spacing, I'm seeing all over the court. So max spacing, they're taking the ball up the sideline. They're popping Big Z out to the top or the 5. So they're
mm,
popping out and catching it like a point guard, and they're running DHO pick and roll off of it. But you're seeing a ton of movement.
good.
And Travis, I counted when they were doing their little scrimmage in the first 4 possessions, each time the ball moved 3 to 4 times without a single dribble being taken. Now, That's
That's
even
awesome.
when we were going to Elite Eights, it was JD Note dribble the air out of the ball and let's go defend at a level. Uh,
I,
we weren't used to seeing it. So,
that's
and I,
music to my ears right there. Yeah.
absolutely. And you've got pros. DJ Wagner looks fantastic. Boogie Fland is one of those guys. Said this. He's a top 10 NBA pick. Like he's one of those guys. He's super talented. I've already said what Jamil Davis. Trayvon Brazil, for Razorback fans at home, is the guy we thought he could be coming from Missouri. He looks phenomenal. Pro, lottery, whatever you want to say. He looks motivated and ready to play.
Has he added a little weight?
He has.
He looks like he's added a little bulk to him. I mean, not a lot. I mean, he's so long and but
Yep.
I
Yep.
saw a video of him and it looked like I didn't know if it was just the aspect ratio of the video or if it was
No, he's gotten bigger and you can tell he's gotten stronger, but he's just aggressive. I watched him go hill to tilt the
yeah,
entire practice. So just seeing him motivated
yeah,
compared to watching first half, the second half, sometimes the drop off would be
yeah.
huge, just in an effort perspective. So he's locked and ready to go.
Well, that was a complaint about him last year was we just didn't see the same effort we'd seen the year before he got hurt.
Yeah,
Because before he got hurt, he was all over the place.
yeah,
He was doing help defense. He was on offense, moving around. He was getting rebounds. He was, blocking shots. He was doing getting dunks like crazy. Running the
yeah,
floor. And then
yeah.
last year he was on defense. He was shying away.
Shine away.
People would run into the lane, and he would just sit and watch them go by. Him and Devo
Yeah,
both were doing that some last year.
that's it.
And
And with this team, you can tell Cal's going 9 deep easily. So, and you've got all SEC type players coming off the bench. And I'll say this: Billy Richmond was the biggest surprise to me. He's big time. And
yeah,
he's going to be the biggest surprise, I think, to Razorback fans. He is an athletic 6'6" that can do a lot of things.
hmm,
Depending on what the lineup is going to be, he's going to play 8 to 9 players. So if the effort is not there, like we were talking about last year with Devo and like they're coming out.
yeah,
It's just a simple equation. Like
yeah,
he's not going to leave them out there to play. He's going to demand effort, and that's one thing you can tell right away. Coach Cal's not lost his intensity.
yeah. That's great. Well, I love what he's doing, man. I love the idea of going to Hot Springs and Pine Bluff.
Yep.
I thought that was great. I knew some people from around here that went up to Pine Bluff for that. Um, you know, I, that was
It's
that was
nice.
wonderful. Um, and I like to see what he's doing out there. So and the stuff you're telling me is exactly the things. Like I said, I love Musselman. There's a lot of things I liked about him, especially this preparation and the way he
Yep.
got the team ready for and prepared for who they played against, and some of his
Yep.
the way he defensively schemed up games and stuff like that. But uh, that
Yep.
stuff, the like you said, the dribble drive stuff, that stuff got a little old, and seeing
Yes.
lack of movement on offense sometimes because
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
So, man, that's good stuff. I'm excited. Now, when's that Kansas game? You remember when that is?
Let's see. Gosh, I don't have. I'm trying to think right off the top of my head.
Well, it's coming up, so
Yeah,
that'll
it's
be
and once it hits, it's downhill. It's
yeah,
big games coming, and you could tell he's confident in his team because he's playing some tough teams.
yeah.
So it should be
Oh
fun to
yeah,
watch.
yeah. He's got some. Yeah, we got a good schedule
Yeah,
for a guy that didn't have a schedule when he got here. He put
that's
together a
right.
doozy.
No players and no schedule. He's done
That's
all right
right.
in a short period of time.
No kidding. Well, the last thing I want to mention, folks, is big congratulations to OBU for the big win against Harding. The Baptist versus the Church of Christ in the denominational battle.
Yeah,
And Church of Christ wins a lot. Man, they're a good team. But OBU got up on them, and they just, they run that sprint veer offense or whatever it is they run up there. It's a kind of an old school Texas offense, but man, they I watched the end of that game, and OBU stormed the field, which of course
Nice.
didn't fill up the field.
Right. Right. But you love the
And
enthusiasm.
I don't think they had to pay a fine to the other team like we did against
That's right.
Tennessee. But
That's right.
but that was a good win for them. Coach Todd Knight is the coach there. Was a good guy. I was there when he came. He's been there a long time, and man, he was he was winning at Delta State. Like he was winning conference championships at Delta State, but OBU was his alma mater, and OBU had to promise him some things to get him to come, some
Yeah.
upgrades and stuff. And slowly they've given him all of them, but he told them no a few times, I think, before he, or the story I heard was anyway. So I don't know all the details, but he's been a good one there, man. And then like I said, Harding still, I mean, those two teams could still both make the playoffs and
Yeah.
do well at the end of the year. So we'll see. Well, Bart, man, how's the kids doing? How's their basketball? Are they playing any fall ball right now? Or are they?
They're good. They're just they're practicing nonstop. So it's they're probably about a week and a half away, both of them, from their first game. So they're starting to play early and earlier. So start of November, high school hoops is here. So
Man, yeah,
like I said, it's a great time of year, man.
That's right.
And no matter what type of fan, a World Series,
hey,
college
man,
football, NFL,
the Yankees and the Dodgers.
That's right. That's right, baby.
It's gonna be a good World Series. So hopefully the Yankees will. Hopefully, Judge remembers how to hit. He's been struggling, but it's pretty good. You're a pretty good team when your best player is struggling, and you still
absolutely
win the last two series. So
Yeah.
Well, man, Bart, appreciate you once again, man.
Travis, thanks for having me, buddy. Always pleasure. I enjoy it. Love talking with you.
Yeah, man.
Really enjoyed it.
You brought a lot of good stuff as always, and appreciate you, man. Check Bart out, Pure Sweat Basketball. You can find him on all your social media platforms. If you got a kid that wants to play some basketball, play some hoops, look, Bart. Even if a kid comes to you for one training session, right? Well, of course, you want them for more than that.
Yeah,
but even
you
if
get an evaluation, you give them a look.
Even if they come for one, they can learn some things that they can go do in their driveway or in their local gym or wherever that can help them out. Okay. You got some things that they'll learn, just some basics that'll help them. So folks, if you got a kid that's serious about basketball, that loves playing and wants to be the best they can this year, call up Bart, look him up, Pure Sweat Basketball, and get hooked up with him and around Sheridan and Benton Bryan area, right?
Yep. All over the place.
You're training around there in Little Rock.
Everywhere.
So
yep.
And man, we'll have you on again soon for sure. And appreciate you a lot, man. Folks, thanks. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We need you. We need you to help push this thing out there. We're getting remember, we're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're getting a lot more digital downloads there. I went and looked at the analytics the other day, and we're doing really good there. So keep that up, folks, and spread the word. And hey, go Hogs, beat Mississippi State. Shut up them cowbells. Get rid of them. Have a great week, folks.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no water till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Oh, I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no water till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Sun beating down so hard I can barely breathe. Hard to sing a joyful song. The words got me on my knees. Then the gentle breeze blows by, pick me up right on time. Listen, now I know the Lord is near, working right by my side. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no water till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Oh, I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no water till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Alright. Another day down, the work is done. I wonder what it's all worth. The pain